Welcome to Pet Boss Nation. Pet Boss Nation is a global collaborative community coaching pet businesses how to make more money, find more time, and have more fun. If you're a small business owner in the pet industry looking to make more money, then you need Pet Boss Nation.
This is the very best group in the entire pet industry.
The great thing about Pet Boss Nation is that it's worth every penny.
I can't imagine my daily life without these fine people in it.
This group is going to take you further than any other group that you can belong to.
Stop working like a dog and start living like a boss. Come join us. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Are you ready? Are you ready to continue our Pandemic to Profitability workshop happening yesterday, today, and Wednesday? I hope so, because we've got more amazing stuff I'm going to share with you today. So please say hello. Let me know who's with us. I see Tracy's here with us. Great to see you. And Tiffany, fantastic. All right. So yesterday we talked about promotions, and it was a great workshop. Lots of people engaged, lots of great questions afterwards. And so if you haven't had a second to go check out that replay from yesterday, please do. And there's worksheets and workbooks. And if you want access to all the workbooks and also catching all the replays, then all you need to do is sign up and register at petbossworkshop.com. Okay, that's what you need to do. We also, if you don't have the worksheet and don't have access for today, because we've got a brand new worksheet for today, we're talking on session number 2, partnerships. If you comment that you're interested, just say like, I'm interested, or me, then our bot, our Pet Boss bot, will send you a message with a link to this PDF. Fingers crossed. That's how it's supposed to work. But so if you want to do that, you can try typing that. And then so anyway, let me tell you a little bit more about who I am and why I'm doing this and what Pet Boss Nation is, in case it's your first time joining us. So my name's Candace D'Agnolo, and I'm the founder and CEO of Pet Boss Nation. And what we do at Pet Boss Nation is we have created a coaching community to support the independent small business owner in the pet space. So if you're a brick and mortar retailer, grooming salon owner, doggy daycare, boarding, manufacturer, like, we have all kinds of ways that we can support you. And one of the ways that we do it is through our monthly coaching program called the Pet Boss Club. And enrollment to the club is open right now. And that's why when we open enrollment, we love to teach, we love to share our information with you guys so that you can kind of get a taste of what it would be like to work with us in the Pet Boss Club. Now, I created this because nothing existed like this when I had my pet businesses. I've been in the industry since 2004. 2004. So it's been a long journey and ride for me. I've had a doggy bakery business, a boutique business, grooming services added in. We did doggy daycare, boarding. I attempted dog walking business, although we had it for 4 years. So I guess we did have a dog walking business. That's a great story there. But anyway, I have been through it all, the ups and the downs. I scaled way too quickly in the early years. By the age of, I think it was like 28, I had 3 locations and 30 employees in the first 3 years of business, and I had no clue what I was doing. So it was a struggle. It was a real struggle. And at one point, I mean, I have gotten myself into $400,000 in debt with banks and credit cards and family loans. And it was the height of the recession. And I thought to myself, I've got to, either just like make a decision here to just pack it all in and say goodbye to the pet industry. And this was in, I guess, 2010. Or I was going to invest in myself and learn what I didn't know. And I went to a one-day workshop, very similar kind of, it was in person, it wasn't virtual, but similar to this, where I learned more about how to be a better business owner. And this light bulb went off and I was like, oh, wow, like, yes, there is a lot that I don't know. And so I, started working with mentors and looking for people in our community who wanted to support each other in business. And it just didn't exist. I found people, but they weren't in specifically pet. They were a lot of small business owners in different industries, but there wasn't a group that was pulled together just for pet people. So fast forward, I was able to grow the business. We hit 7 figures, and then we hit multiple 7 figures. And it was shocking to me that someone who was in complete struggle and overwhelm was able to transition and grow the business in that way. And I've successfully sold three pet businesses. And I'm very proud of that, because most times small businesses have to close their doors or just retire and sell everything off. And in my scenario, that wasn't the case. And what I do now and why I'm sharing this story is that we need each other. We need support. We need to have conversations with people who have had success before us, who've been down that road, but who also understand the struggles that we all face, because entrepreneurship is not easy. Am I right? So that's why we created Pet Boss Nation and the Pet Boss Club. It is to support you, the independent business owner, to see success. And so I thank you for being here today. The topic we're going to talk about is partnerships, okay? The key to partnerships. And I would love in the comments for you to share with me what your philosophy on partnerships is. See, partnerships in my career have always been critical and important. And sometimes I've invested more time and energy in these partnerships. And sometimes, I've kind of let them slide or forgot about how important they are. But I would love to know what your philosophy is. And now when I talk about partnerships, I'm not necessarily talking about a business partner. While sure, that's absolutely important if you have a business partner, what we're going to talk about today will impact that relationship that you have with that co-owner or even maybe one of your managers. But what we're talking about is a variety of types of partnerships. So I'd love to know your philosophy. We had a great conversation about this over in our free community, the Pet Boss Nation Pet Professionals group. Some of you have already started commenting on that thread and sharing how you feel. So let me pull one of those up. Let's see. I love it. Lauren says, a successful store is all about partnerships. Distributor and retailer, manufacturer and retailer, distributor and manufacturer, retail and customer, all 4 are connected and it's nirvana. Any one of those that is missing is lost revenue all the way around. And she's so right. She hit it right on the nose with that one. So tell me in the comments, are you, do you find that partnerships have been successful for you, or is it kind of a waste of time? Let's see if we've got any. No comments yet on this. Here we go. So I know there's a little bit of a delay. Okay, so someone give me their philosophy. Do you like partnerships? Maybe philosophy is too big of a word. Do you like partnerships or do you not like partnerships? Do you like them, or do you just like to work by yourself and hope it all works out? Or do you like to connect with other people? Yes, Tiffany says she's still working on her partnerships. Yes. I love my partnership with local rescues. Fantastic. We're going to talk about that actually, because that is one of the #1 questions that I get is, how do I improve the partnership with a rescue? Because I'm not getting the benefit from this relationship. I'm just giving to them. Okay, lots of stuff coming through now. Tracy's saying partnerships are super important. I feel as though they make us successful. Manufacturers, customers, vendors, and other retailers in town. Yes, and Tracy is a Pet Boss Club member. This person, yes, on partnering. It works both ways. Definitely love to connect with others. Tasha's admitting, I love it. I'm bad at partnerships. It's okay, Tasha. We're gonna talk about it today on how to be a better partner. Yes, so lots of good stuff. Carly is a club member. Mutual beneficial relationships are awesome. If they start to be one-sided, you have a strong enough to cut the ties. Yes, we're gonna talk about that a little bit too. Yes, I like them, but it depends on finding the right person to connect with. Great. Okay. Yes, and Katie, I love it. Good to see you, Katie. She's saying it can be a cornerstone to being successful. Building upon a relationship can lead to a wealth of information. I'm still working on building more myself as a person and in a business. Yes. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Well, that's awesome. That's great. Great information. And if you guys, we're going to start working through our workbook now. If you guys need the workbook and you don't have it, you've got a couple options. You can either just join at petbossworkshop.com or just say like me in the comments, I'm interested, and supposedly our bot is supposed to be sending it to you. Hopefully it's working. But the bot should send you the PDF. And also, it'll give you more information about joining the Pet Boss Club too. All right, so let's keep rocking and rolling here. Okay, so in partnerships, I've got to pull up my notes. Here we go. Okay, so the first one here on this page, got our first worksheet. There's some couple key things I want to talk about that are critical to all partnerships. And the first one is, who you surround yourself with is who you become. This is a mindset life philosophy, and I bring it up because it is actually extremely important when we look at our partnerships. And there's a lot of different kinds of partnerships, and we're going to talk about those next after these 3 points. But who you surround yourself with is who you become. You can think about that with even growing up. Our parents would always say, you're hanging out with the wrong crowd, or your circle of friends growing up really impacted your thoughts about yourself, your thoughts about what you were doing. Your circle of friends or your even circle of family members, that all impacted the opportunities you maybe thought would be there for yourself. And so the same thing is really, really important in business. And so when we are unhappy with a partnership that we're having, we need to really look at our people in our circle and say, well, who in our partnership circles, are they good partners to be with, or are they not going to help me move the needle forward? So still always think about who you spend time with is who you become. And so if you're not happy with your current circles, then we need to make a pivot and an adjustment. Okay, next. A partnership is a commitment to an ongoing relationship. I get this so many times, and I know you probably do too in your pet businesses, where a rep will just come in and they're like, or especially at a trade show, right? You go to a trade show and that salesperson is like, this is perfect for your store. And you're like, you don't even know what kind of store I have. And whoa, calm down, pushy salesperson. Let's build a relationship first. Let's get to know each other first before you just assume things about my business. Same thing with us. We can't just reach out to a potential partnership and assume that because we've had that conversation, that it's all of a sudden going to be an amazing experience for both of us. Partnerships take time. A good partnership is really about finding those key people that you want to work with to go it in the long haul. A solid partnership can endure all the ups and the downs in business, and they're really that long-term investment. So sometimes even like while you sign a vendor agreement, if you're gonna let's say partner with, you could even think about credit cards. This is really interesting. Is and it wasn't a story I was going to share, but it makes total sense. So oftentimes when we sign a contract with a new service provider, that sales rep just like ends the relationship right there. It's like they're just out to go get their sales and close the sale, and then they move on and they send you to like tech support as an example. That's how most credit card companies typically work. I was fortunate enough in my pet business that we teamed up with a guy named Doug Varilla, and he had a company called, or he still has it, but it's called Merchant, like Merchant Giving. Oh shoot, let me look it up. Hang on, let me find Doug. I'm like, get out of the loop here. Hopefully it comes up. Merchant Giving. I think it's Merchant Giving. Merchant Giving. Merchant Giving Project. Maybe that's what it is. Here we go. Yes. Okay. Merchant Giving Project. Sorry. merchantgivingproject.org. So yeah, what they do is they're great. So anyway, what they do is they'll give a percentage of your credit card sales to a charity of your choice. But what the point of that was is that Doug didn't just come in and sign a contract with us. Doug was vested in our success as a company. He wanted to make sure that we had everything that we needed even after that contract was signed. He found new opportunities for us to be part of. Like, he was invested in the success of our business. And so I love sales reps like that. I love owners of companies like that. And I want you to also look at your company and your relationships in the same way. How can you serve the other people that you're working with? Because this is a long commitment that you're going to go in together. It's not just an overnight success. Partnerships aren't, okay? The third one here. Oh, I have other stories. Sorry, that's right. I'm looking back at my notes. I want to talk to you about the dog rescue thing. So when we look at the relationship of working with dog rescues, I get this question all the time, is that a retailer will say to me, we donate all the time to these dog rescues, and then they still send people to Chewy.com. They still send people to go to the Amazon wish list, and we just don't feel like we're getting the support back. It's not reciprocal, it's not being given back to us. And that very well may be the case, and not every relationship in the rescue world is going to work perfectly that way, because that rescue, a lot of times, is that their jobs, a lot of them have full-time jobs and they're volunteering at the rescue, or they're already like, their priority is to help the dogs at the rescue. It's not to promote your business. And certainly it would be amazing if they were able to do that. And some rescues are fantastic at that, but not everyone is. And so what I liked to think about, and this is what I did in my pet business, is I said early on, I was like, okay, sure, I could have a different rescue group here every single weekend, and we could rotate through all the different groups and bring people in from the suburbs and have breed-specific rescue groups. And sure, we can get them all on the calendar. And I felt, that's one angle, and that we still did that sometimes, but it was harder to build a long-lasting relationship that way, because there were just too many people and too many organizations like revolving through my pet business. And so I had a shift, and I said, okay, instead of me feeling like I need to connect with everybody, I'm going to get really vested in one organization. And it didn't mean I turned anyone else down. If other organizations are going to send requests to you for help, you should absolutely help them. But what I'd love for you to do when it comes to the rescue partnership is really get vested with one. Think about that long-term relationship. So I ended up getting on the board of one of the rescues. And then I decided, it looked like they really needed help planning their biggest fundraiser. Great, I will spearhead the biggest fundraiser, and my company is going to be one of the main sponsors, and we're going to get to know the volunteers, and my team is going to be wearing our brand, our company shirts at this event, and we're going to have our logos on the goodie bags at this event, and I'm going to not rescue. You don't have to worry about any of this. We're going to take all of it. We're going to take it on ourselves, and we are going to support you. All I want is some marketing from it, and you don't even have to worry about that. I will make sure that all the graphics are figured out, all the promotional materials, and we are going to raise a bunch of money for you. And they loved it. Why? Because it took stuff off their plate. It took stuff off their plate because they're already so busy. And instead of saying to people, like, what can you do for me? Instead, we said, here's what I can do for you, and here's how I'm going to help you. And what do you need? What do you need help with? It's a common question that's like missed, I think, in most relationships. As we come to the relationship, often thinking like, what am I going to get out of it? Or instead, we should be going to the relationship saying, how can I serve you? How can I help you? And that works once we've identified from the first one, like who we surround ourselves with is who we become. You want to go towards the partnerships and the people who are going to connect and serve for you, who are going to be in your best interest. You go to those people and then you say, how can I partner with you? How can I help you? How can I help the customers that you have? We see it in Pet Boss Nation all the time. People come to us and they want access to you guys. They want access to our customer list. They want access to that Facebook group. They just want to come in and spam, spam, spam and go, hey, you've got a lot of followers. How do I get your customers? That's not helpful to me as a partner. Instead, when people come to us and say, what do your customers need? How can we support you to help lift you up because we want to be a partner of yours? And that's actually what NextPod did for us. It was almost 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, when they wanted to get involved in Camp Pet Boss. And instead of saying, Candace, we really want you to promote us to all of your clients, instead it was, how can we partner more together? Because we believe that we have the same customers. We believe that we can help them be stronger just like you. And we want to help educate and lift the industry up. How can we support what you're doing, Candace? And that to me, because it came across that they were interested in building a relationship. They knew when they approached me that they were in it for the long haul. And now we've had a great relationship and continue to, because we don't see it as a one-time transaction. So I encourage you to look at the relationships that you have in your partnership circles and think about, is my mindset with this kind of like, you're not going to be around very long, so I'm not going to be very invested into you? Or are you in it for the long commitment to build the relationship? Okay. Next, point number 3. Connection is currency. Connection is currency. When we connect with people in a real authentic way, it will transition into revenue dollars. It will have a ripple effect through the business. Okay, we're going to dig into this a little bit deeper. It's funny. I actually looked up the definition of connection, and I was cracking up because when I looked up the definition of connection, I want to make sure that you know that I'm talking about a connection with, it's a relationship with a person, an idea, or a thing that is that's linked and associated with something else, right? That's that connection. We want to find people who are connected to the same audiences, the same goals, the same perspectives on business as we are. A connection is not a supplier for narcotics. That's not what I'm talking about. I was laughing. I was just like, oh yeah, a connection. Yeah, I got a hookup. Huh? Yeah, that's not what we're talking about here at Pet Boss Nation. So what we're talking about is connection is what we want. We want to connect with people who have a similar customer base as us. Connection is having a mutual trust and a mutual respect for each other. So if you're in relationships with your partners, and if you've got a sales rep who's not mutually interested in what you've got going on, I'm not saying you need to end that relationship, but it's time to have a conversation about it, okay? All connection that will translate into currency needs to have mutual trust and respect, which means that if you're not getting respect from your brands or vendors, it's time to look at ourselves and how we are treating those people in those relationships as well. Okay, connection is heartfelt, bonding moments, shared experiences. Connection happens when we have those shared experiences. So if you're a retailer who's asking for gift baskets from your manufacturer or your sales rep and they send you something, why don't you follow back the relationship, continue that connection and that shared experience, and take a picture of the person with the basket and email it to your sales rep, or send them a handwritten thank you card with maybe like a little Starbucks gift card in it or something. Like, continue the connection and the relationship building to say thank you. Connection is networking. You can't find partnerships if you're staying quiet in your business. And so connection will happen when you get out and network authentically. Connection is staying top of mind, staying engaged on social media, picking up the phone and talking to people, sending emails, responding professionally, and even having a little bit of humor and personality in your responses and emails with people. It's staying top of mind. Connection is also being there for the other person. It can't just be the me, me, me club. It also has to be the we club and the you club. How can I help you? We also want to always show up in our businesses as the person who wants to connect. We want to be the people who people like doing business with. Let that sink in for a second. We want to be the people who people like doing business with. If we're cranky, or if we're always irritated when we talk to people, or if we're annoyed, or again going, what's in it for me? That's not somebody who people want to do business with. There's a great book called The Go-Giver by Bob Burg and John David Mann. There's a lot of editions in it, but the Go-Giver book is something you should definitely read. There's one I think about sales and leadership, and they're not even like that. They're not like huge books. You can get through it. But a lot of business coaches will talk about being a go-giver or giver's get. You know, as Bob Nagin always says, giver's get, which is true. And we have to think about that, because when we can connect and be a go-giver, the reason it translates into currency is because it's not just that individual transaction. It's that the revenue will flow. You will, when you start to connect, you will get access to new customers. You will build your brand awareness. You will find new opportunities. You will have a more motivated team, and you will have a higher perceived value by your communities around you. Okay. All right. That gets us to the next page. Our next page. And for those of you who are curious what Tumblr I have today, I have the Pretty Bomb Dog Mom Tumblr. Got this from Shop Dog. I love it. I think I'm a pretty bomb dog mom. Are you guys pretty bomb dog moms too? I think so. We might have some pretty bomb dog dads out there watching. All right, is this all sounding good? It looks like we've got some comments here. We've got let's see. I'm just looking at some of these comments here. We've got Tasha. She's saying we happily do ones that don't ask, but asking for it just is draining. We get awesome collars. I love them. Every time we get the box, though, I have to post pictures, tagging them, thanking, and showing them off. I understand we all have to have exposure, though. Yeah, so Tasha, I think you're talking from like a rescues perspective, like, or are you talking about from you're getting things from the brands, and you're trying to figure out that you feel like you need to share stuff. I love it. Lori's like, cat mom. That's right. Okay. Yeah, it can be, and you don't have to do those posts every time to acknowledge the thank you. I'm just saying, like, depending on when it is, and you don't even have to put it on social media, you can just say thank you to them personally. But yeah, there's lots of ways to continue the relationship to help support those businesses. So Tasha, if you're coming from it from that rescue perspective and feeling like you've got to tag and say all the thank yous, I mean, that is definitely, I'm sure, hard to keep up with. But that's when I love to say to those stores that are giving you that stuff, is to say to that store, I love that you're giving us these things, but like really, like, and we're going to get into this now, like later on, it's also like, how can we make this a truly beneficial relationship? I was involved in a rescue too, and we would get boxes of stuff sometimes, and we're like, we don't need any of this stuff. And so we just sat in a stock room because it really wasn't the thing that we needed. And so it's really important that in all relationships that both parties understand like what the other person needs. Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. So sometimes there's terms. Yeah. Sometimes there's terms on if you want to take this stuff, these are the things you got to do. That's true. Okay. All right. So next we'll flip over to our next page here. And I want to encourage you to know that we have 6 partnership groups. Okay. 6 partnership groups. And the first thing is that we need to understand that I just talked about the circles. Remember when growing up, we had our circle of friends. Well, we have all kinds of circles in our business life too that are all actually communities. Your circles are your community. At Pet Boss Nation, we talk extensively about how community is one of the foundational pillars in helping you have a successful business. And if you've got a strong community either in your local community or your customer community, your team community, it is all going to help lift you up. And if you continue to build your community, your business will grow. And so we're going to run through these here. Hopefully you can see I've got the dry erase board behind me, and I'm really have the dry erase board because I'm hiding that crazy wallpaper. It's not crazy. It's just dark. We just bought a house, and this is my new office, and it's very rustic looking. But so the dry erase board helps hide that. It clashes with my Pet Boss Nation colors, so you can see me here in the background. But okay, so the main circle. We've got the main circle built on your page, and then we have 6 community groups here. I'm going to actually erase this. And if you guys don't have your workbooks, you can just comment, I'm interested, in the comments, I'm interested, or you can comment me, and our bot should send you, Kama helped us hook up our mini chat bot, and you should be able to get the workbook. Okay, so your circles are your communities. Your first community is customers. Your first community is your customer community. This is when we look at our customer community and our partnerships that can be established in a customer community. We have opportunities to think about, do we build referral programs for that community? Is there a common interest inside my customer community? Is there a common cause? Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with pets, but maybe it does. There could be a common thread in your customer base. And if you don't know what their interests are outside of the pet industry, because we want to find new customers. Yesterday during our promotions training, everyone was talking about, how do I find new customers? How do I get new people to engage and come into my business? We find new customers when we look at our communities and develop partnerships with our communities, and we need to go find new people because, guys, more than half of the country has at least one pet. So there you will find pet owners outside of the pet industry. Shocker, I know, but you will. Okay, so we could look at our customer list. We could even poll our customers, send them a Survey Monkey, send them a type form, do a Facebook poll in one of your Facebook groups, and ask people what their interests are outside of the pet industry, or even inside the pet industry, what they're most interested in. If you can poll your customer community and ask them what their interests are, you could then align yourself with those organizations that matter to them and get your customers involved. With your customer community, you can help host events or develop a Facebook group for them to get to know each other, for them to help build relationships with each other. That way your company is facilitating an opportunity for them to connect to, because connection is currency and it will have a ripple effect and impact your lives. You could also go to your customer community to build partnerships specific to what positions or relationships your potential customers or your current customer base already has. Let me tell you a story about my doggy daycare business. And actually it was when I had a store and the doggy daycare. They were both on the same city block in Chicago. One was on one end of the block. On the opposite end of the other side of the block was the doggy daycare. And it was great because we had visibility from both places and people walking by on both sides of the street. It was fantastic. But one of our customers, he was part of a new high-rise that was being built not too far away. And it was going to be a dog-friendly high-rise. And they were pretty far along in construction at this point. But he moved into the neighborhood because he was going to be, well, actually, he might have been living in that building, now that I think about it. But he came into the neighborhood. He had pets. It was dog-friendly. We were the nearest store. He came by. We developed a relationship with him. We just, it was good customer service. And as we were talking, we loved to figure out like what our customers did for a living. And he shared that he's, managing this new building and it's dog friendly, and he would love to develop, find resources, or how could we, as a business, benefit him and his residents in his building. So there were meetings and we collaborated and we hosted different meetups and parties. His residents got discounts at our business. We had pamphlets and their welcome kits when new residents moved in. And so there was a great partnership to be had there. Another one of our customers invited me to be on the board of the neighborhood group. So again, just like being on the board of the rescue group helped our business, being on the board of the resident group also helped, because it helped the residents to have a small business owner mind on the board to help them understand the importance of shopping local. And then as a small business owner, we were able to help craft promotions and things and get the word out to the residents about the small businesses in our area. We have the major ability to influence other people, but we have to go and seek those opportunities. We have to look at the people that are in our circles, and are the people that are in our circles going to elevate us, or are they going to hold us back? And that means sometimes you have to step up, go find the organizations and step up and offer to give to them and give to them. It will have a ripple effect. So your customers have connections too. So I mean, if I was really looking for new customers and I wanted to build this partnership circle, I'd send probably a survey or even a message. It doesn't have to be posted on social media, but you could send a few customers an email, or all your customers, and say, we're in 2021, we're really looking to expand into our community. And we are looking for people and opportunities where they feel like, you have pet parents in your group, or you have a need and you might have a good idea on how we could support you. Fill out this quick little Google form or send us a message back and let us know if you'd like to schedule a meeting to see how our business can benefit your friends or organizations or groups. We did that with one of our customers. It turned out she was running and I didn't even know it, because if I wasn't having conversations with our customers, I wouldn't know this, right? So Engaging with your customers is so important to talk about what they're interested in outside of your business. So it turned out one of our customers was heading up some like massive doodle group. This is before Facebook groups, but she was getting together and facilitating like meetups with these doodles. And so we started hosting her doodle group all the time at the business. And it was great because then they would buy a bunch of stuff and sign up for grooming, which I know doodles are the toughest, I know. But your customer base has opportunities for you to build partnerships in it. All right, moving on to the next community partnership you can build. These are your suppliers. Okay, these are your suppliers. They are your vendors. Okay, when we think of our suppliers, and all businesses have suppliers. I don't care if you're already a manufacturer. Maybe you are a supplier, but you also have your own suppliers too, right? So your suppliers include your vendors, distributors, sales reps, the delivery guy, your UPS guy, he's a supplier to you. The truck drivers that are bringing the stuff off the truck from the distributors, they're part of your supplier community. Your landlord is a supplier for you, and that's a relationship that you should invest in. I have always been good to my landlords for my brick and mortar spaces because there have been many times when I needed to ask a favor of my landlord. So build that relationship, be friendly with them, send them holiday cards too, send them a little thank you present to them. I know that you're paying them to rent and you're their client technically, but this isn't the me party. This is that I have influence and I'm going to be somebody who people like to work with, and I'm going to be nice to you. I'm going to send you little friendly reminders. I might give your landlord discounts on things. Now, not all people are going to, hopefully they're not going to take advantage of you. And I know that not everyone's perfect out there, but you can at least do your part to be a good person in that relationship. There were times when the recession hit and I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent. And I know you probably have experienced that here in 2020 with COVID. Some landlords are definitely willing to work with you and some aren't. But if you have already put in a good relationship with them, it's easier to pick up the phone and just say, listen, I'm really having some cash flow problems. What can we work out to get through this together? Because I know it's going to come back. The pet industry is really strong. My customer base is really strong. It's just we need to, I want to continue here. Can we at least talk about it? They're going to be more open to working with you. All suppliers are going to be more willing to work with you when you have established a good relationship. Okay. Let's see. Your attorneys could be in your supplier group. I have had attorneys that I have had great relationships. Turned out one of my customers, so actually I had customers that were married to each other. One was my divorce attorney, and then the other one, it was our trademark attorney, who then ended up helping us find a franchise attorney that we could talk to, who then helped us find the next business trend. When I sold my businesses, that attorney to help with. And when I had employee issues and problems, there were other people I could talk to. And because I was so good in my relationship with both of those attorneys and them as customers, because I was pulling from this partnership community to help me in this partnership community, I got a ton of free attorney calls to jump on a call with them and let me connect you with these people. And it was fantastic because I crossed over in these. Your other community here is your team. Your team is an important community to you. So whether you have contractors, your current employees, even past employees, your employees, just we talked yesterday about word of mouth marketing, your employees and former employees also talk about your business. And so you want to be the type of person that people like working with. You want to be the type of person that's going to terminate and end well on good terms with people when possible. I know it's not always possible, but you can at least, again, try to do your best in that relationship to end well with past employees, but they're still part of your community. And if you stay connected with past employees, sometimes they'll bring up new opportunities for you, or they refer other people to come and work for you too. So past employees also doesn't have to end on bad terms. Maybe they've found new opportunities for themselves, but definitely your team is a community for you. And if you are not happy with your team, okay, let's go back and think about that point number one about we are who we surround ourselves with. If you're not happy with your team or they're not delivering it, we have to go back and look at ourselves. We hired them, we trained them. And so we need to go back and say, okay, maybe I don't have the right team to support me right now. And so this is a community that I need to build up and partnerships I need to invest in. Okay, your community and partnership number 4 is the local community. Hopefully you guys can still see that and it's not too low. Yeah, you can see it. I love it. Tracy says, our landlord is a huge supporter of our shop too. Yes, agree. Okay. Yeah, Tiffany, stop being a pushover. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay. It's you don't want to be a pushover. You can be nice without being a pushover. And we're not always all perfect. I can have my moments too where I let things slide or I'm more casual about certain things. But it's just always an opportunity to reset, realign with what our goals are, what we need to have accomplished, and to make sure that all of these relationships are staying mutually beneficial to each other. Okay, so the local community partnership community pillar here, this is your rescues, other business owners in your shopping district or other business owners even in your town. And it's other charities we talked about, right? Other charities from other outside the pet industry. This could be your police, your firefighters, your teachers, your nurses. You can build communities inside those groups too. Sports teams, churches. I mean, there are so many things, so many different other little communities inside your local community that you can tap into. I'm not saying you have to do all of these communities, but we need to look at what are the ones that are going to impact you. And so when we're wondering where we're going to find customers, you already have this ecosystem built. We just got to go find them, ask for the opportunity, and find the right partnerships that are going to leverage and benefit both of us. Okay. Your next group is your business, like the industry that you're in, right? So for all of us in the pet industry, this is the pet industry, right? These are your fellow pet business owners, people who are watching this feed right now. You're chatting in this chat on this live stream, and maybe if there's a person that's in the chat that you haven't connected with before, connect with them. See who's watching. I know we're streaming in like 5 different places, but there's like 30 people watching right now, and so we want to. I mean, you might not see them right there, but you can connect with people too on virtual live streams. I know you probably watch other people's live streams too. So these are your business industry, your business peer-to-peer business owners. These are your industry resources, the magazines, groups like Pet Boss Nation and the Pet Boss Club. This is an entire partnership community that you can leverage right there too. Okay, and then group partnership level number 6. I was going to save this for, I think, as the secret, but no, we'll share it now. This, to me, in my mind, is one that is like not thought about ever really as a true partnership. And I want you to start thinking about this group as a partnership to help your business be successful. And this is technology. The technology that's out there to help you in business. We need to invest in support, and we need to not be frustrated or feel like it's not worth investing in because again, we're trying to get frustrated with it, or we don't think it's going to work, and maybe we just need to better understand what that tech can do for us, and we need to go look for it. Software is there to support you. So if that's a good point of sale system, you need to make a shift and invest in it. I found actually a stat that like 46% of small business owners who have inventory don't actually track their inventory. So they don't have a clue on how long things have been there, if things have been stolen from their employees or customers. They don't really know, like they don't have a way to keep track of it. Almost half of small business owners are not tracking their inventory. That's crazy. Crazy town. Because there's an art and a science to business, and the software stuff, whether it's email marketing or having a great website, all of that tech is there to support you. And you need, as a business owner, we need to see it as one of our support systems. It's another community piece. So I loved it. Yesterday, Astro Loyalty, we had a couple people from Astro watching, so your loyalty programs can be there. Astro is fantastic. Tap Mango is also really cool. 5-Star is another one. You could have a texting platform that is really, really popular right now to have texting correspondence with your customers on the masses. There's platforms like Easy Texting, Community.com, and even NextPaw, which is more of a website SEO, helping you, have a better Google presence and mobile-friendly website and customer user experience. I mean, gosh, NextPaw does a ton, but they also, I think, have a texting messaging piece to it too. Your website, We Love eTail Pet, can help you. I have a good friend of mine, Susan, with Social Sales Girls. She's a Shopify expert guru. You could connect with her. So there's appointment booking softwares like Calendly and Acuity, all there to help you in business. You don't have to do all of this, but we need to shift our mindset of the partnerships that are out there to support us. Because like I said before about when I found out what my customers could do for me and offered, and I developed those relationships and I found out how I could support them. In that process, I found opportunities for me, other suppliers for me. And when we have this whole that is an ecosystem. I love it. That's what Lauren said yesterday. Like the suppliers, right? If you engage in your business industry, see if I have another sharp dry erase marker. If you engage in your business industry, you find suppliers. When you find the great suppliers to work with, your customers love the suppliers that you find. And your customers, if you've got a great team, your customers love your team. And if your team loves your customers, your team is going to be happier, and they're going to probably be more comfortable learning tech or using the tech. Kind of can all play together. All of this, they all impact each other in the ecosystem of partnerships. Okay, let's talk now about, I love it. Oh, great. Thanks, guys. Astro says, I love what you're working on here and how much you're helping the local independents. Thank you. Yes. We love you guys. A lot of our clients, here she goes, yeah, Tracy's like, we love Astro. Yeah. So, guys, there's a lot of people in the pet industry who are tech people in a sense, like Astro's tech, Pet Boss Nation, we're tech, but also the human touch and community building and teaching and coaching. But there are a lot of people here who are ready to support you and help you be successful. But if you're not willing to invest in those opportunities, then you may stay stuck, and that's not what we want, because we want to help you grow and be successful. Okay, now let's go into the last piece. Ooh, we were going to do an exercise. Let me check time here. I wanted to do an exercise, but I'm not sure we have time. I don't want to go over too much longer because I want to get to the tips to making the partnership successful. But on this next page, okay, so this is on this next page in your workbook is you've got these sections. And when I printed it out, my printer didn't have the header very big here, but you've got customers, suppliers, team, local, community, business, and tech, and some lines here. What I would love for you to do, and I was going to just have us work through this, but we'll hold off and keep moving forward. I want you to think about on this page, just set a timer. You know, whether you use something like this little cube or your phone, just set a timer or a kitchen timer. And for, gosh, probably only even like a minute apiece, a minute for each section, and think about all of the people that are in each of your partnership groups. Just jot them here, not all of them, because there's clearly not enough lines for that, but the ones that jump out first, the ones that stand out first. And then reflect back and think about, well, what opportunity exists there for me? And what would be the best thing for me to actually maybe move forward with later today? Or to maybe this week connect with somebody? And then I would also love for you on this page to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. And the 1 can be like, how engaged am I in that community? How engaged am I in one of each of these groups on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 being the not engaged, 5 being highly engaged. You could also rate your communities on how much you actually enjoy them. How much do you enjoy them or like them? Because if you don't like managing team, then that's okay. But you need to find someone on your team or outsource to a supplier, someone who's going to help you, or find people like Pet Boss Nation and others who can help support you in becoming a better leader to feel more confident leading your team and to increase your liking and enjoyment of that partnership community, okay? So I would love for you, you're gonna work through this. This could be a great homework exercise for later today to post to win some prizes, but you can fill this out, list them out, think about the best opportunity, and then rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. And then that'll at least give you a picture of, okay, because if I don't like to do it, then I either need to outsource it or delegate it, right? So, and if you've got a low score on it, that's really an opportunity that's there available to you to grow. Okay. All right, so let's go on to tips to making a partnership successful. Okay, next page of the workbook. All right, the first tip is to put it on paper. To put your partnership on paper. Sounds like Tasha has some rules in her partnership agreement. To get that free stuff, she has to tag in pictures and post and do all these other things. And that's what, I don't know if Tasha's like as an influencer or a lot of influencers, that's the agreement that they have. But it's put on paper. And so Tasha is following the rules that partner wants of her. Same thing for us. We at Pet Boss Nation are building partnerships. We have a variety of partnerships for brands to be able to work with us. And we're putting it on paper. We have all the rules are laid out so that there's no guessing on what the expectations are for us. The exact same thing for team. That's why job descriptions are so important. And offer letters are so important because it's all on paper. It's written out. The expectations, the start date, the payments, the benefits, when reviews happen, employee handbooks, it's written down. We need to put all of our stipulations for partnerships should be written down. Put it on paper. Well, put it on paper is really like old school, I guess. Make it digital and save it and host it in the cloud. All right, number 2 on how to make partnerships successful is to have meetings. Meetings about the partnership. Now that might not be necessary if you are, I'm trying to think when it wouldn't make sense. You may not need to schedule a meeting for a partnership with, no, I kind of feel like you should have an initial meeting with everybody. That's part of networking and getting to know each other and connecting. So have an initial meeting with all of the people who are important for you to build a partnership with. But more importantly is that we want to revisit those relationships and have check-in meetings. It may not necessarily be a meeting that you need to schedule and have on your calendar as a formal meeting, but you need to know to set on your quarterly calendar to check in with important partnerships, to just, see how things are going, see if you can pivot, do things need to be shifted. So this is a great relationship thing for the rescues. If you have you've had your meeting, you've said, how can I support you? You've gotten more invested in it. And now you can say, well, let's meet and talk about this relationship, because I am kind of feeling like, I'm doing a lot in this relationship, and I would love to see how we can really continue to benefit each other. Maybe it's not working anymore. Just have dialogue about it. Number 3 is we want this to be beneficial for both parties. I've already said that earlier, but all good partnerships, they have to be beneficial to both people. It cannot be one-sided. So the number 4 is to lean in to your strengths. Each of your strengths. You each, depending on what this relationship looks like and what this partnership is, you both need to lean into the thing that you're really good at. This might be when if you're brick and mortar stores or even service providers and you're in a shopping district and you team up with other small business owners in the shopping district, and you make there's a concept out there where you basically make a passport or a roadmap, and you print these out, or you make digital versions, and all of you pool together. Let's say there's 6 businesses involved in the passport event, and each business is listed on this little passport paper, and you all reach out to your customer lists. All your brands get put in front of customer lists, and you give the cards out, and then the customer has to go from business to business, and then they get their fake passport stamped, and then maybe at the end of the passport round, those passports get turned in for a prize. That's a promotion that we could have talked about yesterday, but those are great. But what we often find is that there's a business on the passport that's not pulling their weight. So it's important that everybody involved understands that for it to be successful, everybody has to participate in that partnership that's happening. But also for that number 4 of leaning in to what each person is good at, is that then we need to look at that group during a meeting and find people's strengths and rely on those strengths to make the whole partnership beneficial for everybody. Number 5 is that communication is key. Communication is key. We have a Pet Boss mentor, Kimberly McAdams, and she teaches a lot about active listening. And that oftentimes in all relationships, and you can find, I do this myself, and I've really been working on this a lot the last couple of years, but when you start working with people, or even in your, say your spouse or your parents or your siblings or your friends, or, really anyone you talk to, oftentimes people are not listening to what you have to say. They listen at what she says, what Kimberly calls a level 1, where they listen for ways to interject their story, and they shift what you just said and they take it back to them. And they do that. People do that because it makes it relatable. They feel like they're connecting because they're like, oh yeah, that happened to me too. Oh yeah, that happened to me too. And this is what happened to me, because whatever you said triggered them to think this is what happened to me. So they're responding, they're the me monster again, coming back at you instead of really listening about what you need. And so I bring this up because there's different stages of active listening, and you could look it up or join the Pet Boss Club. We have whole trainings on active listening. But what happens is you want to sit back, and you really want to listen, and you want to ask questions. Kimberly often talks about asking what framed questions. So when you're meeting with these different pillars, to ask questions that start with what? What do you think we should do next? What would be a great solution for that? What do your customers need? What do our customers need? Always continue in listening with questions that start with what. In relationships, to keep everyone on the same page, communication should happen frequently. And depending on the relationship, it may need to be more frequently than other times, but communication is really, really important. It needs to be that back and forth dialogue. Okay, And I kind of already mentioned this one, but I have for number 6, both parties in this, if it requires promotion, need to equally market the promotion. And number 7, I actually don't have a number 7. So I would love to hear from you in the comments what number 7 would be for you. I wanted to leave you a space for you to write in something that is important to you about a partnership. And I would love in the chat, if you have something that we haven't talked about yet or you haven't shared it yet, please put it in the chat about what is important to you for your partnership to be successful. I've mentioned it earlier on, but again, I think here would be trust, right? Mutual respect and trust. Trust is the foundation of all connection and community building and relationship building. Because without trust, nothing else will, it can't stand up. It'll fall apart. So if you haven't put anything yet in number 7, put trust. I'll write it down. All right. Cool. Okay, so if you guys have enjoyed today, which I hope you have, I have an opportunity for you that I want to talk about in just a second, but we're going to get to the last page. I have an opportunity for you to join the Pet Boss Club. The enrollment to the Pet Boss Club is only open for a few more days. And I want you to be a member in the Pet Boss Club because in business, this is what the last page on the worksheet is. In business, we need to be an active participant and not a passive observer. We need to be an active participant in all of these relationships and in what you do for your own business and not a passive observer. So if you love to go to a bunch of free trainings for different groups or listen to free podcasts, that's all great. But you need to join groups like the Pet Boss Club because that helps you become an active participant. And the way that it helps you become an active participant is by utilizing our group. We have lots of relationships, a great Rolodex that connects you to all kinds of people in this pillar. So if you're looking for resources, when you join our community, we open up our Rolodex in a sense and we connect you with the right people. And they are trusted partners. We become a partner with you. We are your partner in business. I cannot be successful if you are not successful. We can't continue to support more business owners if we aren't helping you get results. Okay, so an opportunity is here for you to join the Pet Boss Club. You can do so at petbossclub.com. Enrollment is only open until the end of this week. And when you join before tomorrow night, you do have a chance to win a free strategy session with me. My strategy sessions are $1,000 for 90 minutes, and you could potentially get one for free if you join in the next, 2 days, today or tomorrow. We are giving away free strategy sessions to those who jump in during our Pandemic to Profitability Clinic. And if you know a pet professional who would be interested in learning more or becoming part of our supportive community, then please share this video with them, share the URL with them to come join the Pet Boss Club. We have a ton of our members watching here right now, but this kind of stuff is what we help you with. We do office hours once a week where I jump on just like this and I take questions about your business and what you're going through. We have member share calls where the community comes on a call together and we talk and discuss topics. If you are wanting to expand any of these areas, you have a group of people. Like I said at the beginning, you want to connect, you want to surround yourself with people who make you better, who lift you up. And I know from my experience that when I have joined masterminds and business coaching groups with business owners who have been there before me, who've hit revenue milestones, who've grown their companies to levels that I hadn't yet, that's where you want to be. You want to be with those groups of people. So while I lead and I do a lot of teaching, and I've had my own success in business, like selling 3 businesses, hitting multiple 7 figures in my brick and mortar businesses, taking time off, letting my team run the business without me, That is all possible with the right strategies. And while I'm there to lead you into Pet Boss Club, I'm not the only one there. There are all kinds of amazing clients in the Pet Boss Club. We have retailers that do maybe $30,000 a year all the way up to $5 to $7 million a year. We're all in the same group together. We have doggy daycares who have one little location all the way up to 5 locations. We have pet sitters who maybe only have a handful of contractors as pet sitter employees, up to people who have over 100 dog walkers in their network. So no matter what stage you are in business, the Pet Boss Club and Pet Boss Nation are here to support you, because we believe that when you invest in yourself, anything is possible. I encourage you to join at petbossclub.com. Enrollment is only open for a very short amount of time, and we would love to be there as your true partner in business. All right, guys, I will see you all very soon. Please join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, where I do our next workshop on people, right? So I guess inside all these groups, there's lots of people that we need to connect with. So please stay tuned for tomorrow's free workshop, again, 1 p.m. Eastern, right back here, all about people. And I hope that you join the Pet Boss Club today, and we can welcome you into our group. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Pet Boss Nation. Pet Boss Nation is a global collaborative community coaching pet businesses how to make more money, find more time, and have more fun. If you're a small business owner in the pet industry looking to make more money, then you need Pet Boss Nation.
This is the very best group in the entire pet industry.
The great thing about Pet Boss Nation is that it's worth every penny.
I can't imagine my daily life without these fine people in it.
This group is going to take you further than any other group that you can belong to.
Stop working like a dog and start living like a boss. Come join us.